Hi, welcome to Thursday's edition of our series Life Together Apart. I do hope that you are following along with the journals for this I hate to call it a study, for this experience. The questions in it are really good and poignant, and they're not hard to understand, but they are hard to practice. The question on Wednesday under Love Presence was simply this: Easter is a time of surprise. In this unexpected moment, how does the Easter story invite you or your community to respond? And so I took that question individually. How does it invite me to respond? How does the Easter story invite me to respond, especially with this notion of surprise? And here's what happened as I sat and tried to answer that question. I got horribly stuck in that moment. I was stuck. I didn't know how the Easter story is calling me to respond right now. I was asking that question. I've been asking it in preparation for this Sunday's sermon and things like that through the week. And it was a hard one to answer. And then I was struck by these words of 2 Corinthians 12. And there's this passage where Paul talks about he has this thorn in his flesh, and he's pleaded with God to take it away from him. And we don't know what this thorn is, whether it was a literal pain, whether it was a relationship pain, whether it was some type of temptation that overtook Paul. But then it says that in 2 Corinthians 12:9, right? And you've heard these words where Jesus says to Paul, "My grace is enough for you," or "My grace is sufficient for you, because power is made perfect in weakness." I felt weak coming to that text, that question in the morning, of how is my community, or how am I expected to respond to the Easter story right now. I didn't have a good answer, and what I have to see, and this issue about agency this week is this, right? That sometimes we don't. That sometimes we don't know, and that's when we need the community to bear us up. Sometimes we don't know exactly how God is speaking to us, or what we don't have poignant thoughts every moment or every day. Sometimes it's enough to put one foot in front of the other. And I think God is calling us to recognize His grace in that, and also to recognize and have grace with ourselves. Grace with ourselves. So I invite you into that practice today, to have grace with yourself on whatever it is, to not be so hard on yourself, and to know that God's power is made perfect in weakness. Have a good day.